Morning chaps, welcome to another video, and this week we're going to do a couple of different things we've not done before on video, at least to my memory. Anyway, now it's going to be a memorial shave. It's basically my dad's shave. He taught me to shave when I was about 11 years old and used all of his gear throughout the years, knowingly or otherwise, to him. And when he passed away, he left me some bits and pieces, some of which I still use today. So forgive me if I get a little bit funny, it happens, and today's one of those days where I really miss my dad. So I'm sort of doing a shave to remember, you know. Anyway, his favourite soap is what I'm using today, and that was Tancade. It's the hard soap in the bowl. It's a nice smell. It's a great soap. I think we all know that it's a good soap. But what makes it more special is I'm using his bits and pieces. Now I had to buy this separately because he left me his tin, you know, the old UFO dish, and unfortunately that was one of the original UFO dishes that succumbed quite badly to corrosion of the aluminium. Anyway, L'Occitane sorted that out, and they came out with a revised version like this that just doesn't decay in the same way. So a kind gentleman from the shaving room sourced me a pack of soap because it is pretty hard to come by, but the bowls are 10 a penny apparently. So, but yeah, like I say, the rest of the bits that make it special are the fact that I'll be using his actual razor, not the cartridges. And I say cartridges and I'm hearing a lot of people go anyway, yeah, it's a Wilkinson Sword Quattro. It's my dad's actual razor. He actually used it a lot, daily in fact, and it's the titanium Quattro sensitive cartridges on there. So they're the only ones I can get. They're the ones with the four blades there on the main part of the head, and a fifth blade for tidying up on the back of the cartridge. Expensive, about £8 or £9 for four, something silly like that. But they're not bad, and like I say, I will pay that for the privilege of being able to perform this shave. So that's the razor, the Quattro, and the brush is also my dad's brush, his actual brush that he used to use. Again, a lot of people will sit there and go, it's not a great brush, but I don't give a damn, because it was my dad's. And it's this one, the Wilkinson Sword Bore Brush. It's seen a lot of use over the years, and I mean an awful lot of use, and it's very much broken in, and it's getting old. It's about 15 years old, this brush, something like that now. And yeah, I will continue to use it for these shaves. Now my dad, he used to face lather, and that's what I'm going to do today. So I've already hot toweled, so my skin and the bristles are prepared. The park, I'm just going to put a little bit of extra water, and it has been soaking, and then we're just going to load into the brush. Now, it's a very easy soap to lather, as Cade, and as you can see, it's just the boar bristles tear up nicely. Now it's a fairly small knotted brush, as you can tell, so we may need to reload during the shave because I don't hold a huge amount of lather, but that didn't really matter. It didn't really matter because it only takes a few seconds to load up again. So what we have is the brush fully loaded. And the only downside to this pot is the fact that all the lather spills out over the edge, but we don't worry about that. Just tidy it up, pop it in there or on your face, and away you go. So, done that. I'm just going to splash my face with a little water, just to aid lather building, and just build straight on the face. And it's easy to lather into a good workable shaving lather. As you can see. I hear the police are on their way somewhere in the background. If you hear the Star Wars theme tune going at any point, that's my phone going, because I am on call for work. So, anyway, so we've lathered. Got a good lather going on. We have the razor, and we're just going to simply shave, and it's an easy, effortless shave with this razor. Just not on this side today for a change. And the one thing I like about this shave is not just the memory. Well, that is the biggest part of it for me. It's the fact that I can perform it without having to worry too much about paying full attention, because I can just, it's a cartridge with the safety wires. Don't know if they're picked up there. Yeah, just about. You see them there? Helps protect your face. And despite what people think about cartridges, yes, they are exorbitantly expensive. But get the right ones and they don't give a bad shave, I'll be honest. Gillette Mach 3 blades tear my face up, these don't. He says as he's sporting a weeper. Now, with the 4 blades, it does get pretty close. Don't think there's any denying that. But it's certainly not as efficient as they'd like to make out. It's not 4 passes close. Not at all. It's certainly closer than maybe a single pass with a DE, but it's not. It's just not that close. So we wipe off and see where we're at, and let's face it. But if you do what they do in the adverts and just pass the razor down your face once and go that way with it, it's relatively smooth. Go that way. Don't know if you can hear it. Still need more. So we will lather up for the second pass. So I'm just going to add a little water. Just added too much water to the brush, and we're just going to lather up for a second pass. And there's enough in here for 2 passes. Not a third, I'd say, at this point. But that doesn't matter, like I say, it takes a few seconds, most, just to lather up again in the bowl. It's not a big deal. So, instead of doing 3 pass shave, I'm going to do 2. 1 with, 1 against. See what we get. Because if I'm going to use a cartridge razor at any point, I want to see some benefit, and not just to the corporations who take the money for the cartridges. I'd like to see time saving. Anyway, whilst we're doing this, a little bit about my dad, because he was great. He taught me to shave at 11. And he taught me to shave with his and it would have been vintage even then. I'm sure it was a red tip Gillette. I remember distinctly the razor having a red handle at the bottom. It was a twist to open double-edged razor. And he taught me well with that. But for some reason I abandoned the DE fairly quickly in favour of what would have been then Gillette Sensor XLs. Oh, I've caught myself again. So they're not as safe as you like to think they may be. That I think is more complacency. I think I'm safe, but I'm not. Anyway, yeah. So he taught me with the flare tip, and back then it would have been palm olive sticks, and he still had Old Spice shaving sticks and brushes. And yeah, that's what we did. At the tender age of 11, he obviously noticed that it was necessary, because I was stealing my mother's big orange razors and getting rid of the old bum fluff. Yeah. And yeah, it was time to teach me. And it's one of those things that kind of like, it's a father-son thing, you know. I don't think I need to explain it in words, because any of you have had the experience with your dad or had it with your son, you just know it is what it is. It's those kind of moments you just can't reproduce once they're gone. You absolutely have to take advantage of them while you can, chaps. If you've still got your old man with you, treasure him. You really do. If you haven't spoken to him in years for whatever silly reasons, make that contact, guys, because when they're gone, they're gone. You can't phone them up and say sorry, or Dad, I need your help changing the brake discs, or something like that. Can't happen. You just make sure you treasure every moment. So, we have 2 passes complete, and 1 little weeper left on the old Adam's apple, where I got complacent and thought, I'm using the cartridge, I'm safe to do what I want. Not the case, gents. It's still it's still a razor sharp blade at the end of the day. So there we go. It's not bad. There's room for improvement. It's not as close as 3 passes with a DE, but then again, it is what it is, and it's not what I was aiming for in this shave. I wasn't aiming for total smooth. I was aiming just for the pleasure of using my dad's bits and pieces that he used while he was with us, and just recap in case you weren't paying attention. It's the Wilkinson Sword Quattro with new blades, of course. It's the titanium sensitive cartridges. No need today to use the single blade on the edge, which you would do just to tidy up like that if you wanted to, or under the nose. Yeah, makes sense. It's a handy little feature. Nothing that a double-edged razor or single-edged razor can't achieve, but they include it anyway. A little weeper there, look. We can deal with that. We'll deal with that later. So, like I say, his brush, the Wilkinson Sword Bore Brush, 15 years old-ish. More than enough leather for 2 passes. In fact, just for the crack, we're going to see what we've got left. See how much we can get. Can we get a third? Needs water. So the answer to that is probably no, because once these start needing too much water, yeah, the lather disappears. So we would need to lather for a 3rd pass. So that was his brush, and the soap, as I say, was the L'Occitane Cade in the UFO bowl. So I'm just going to clean off the boat race again with the ever faithful blue flannel, and sum up So, the actual sentimental side of this shave is great. Kind of brings you back to a grounding and, like I say, reconnect in a way that you can't physically do so when your old man's no longer with you. You just know it's kind of there over your shoulder, you know, going, son, do it like this, don't do it like that. There's that side of it. As for the actual razor, it's not bad, really can't knock it. Okay, the only real knocking side is the expense of the blades, which is just astronomical when you compare them to like Astrias and Feathers and Darbys and Gillette Yellows, whatever you may use, they're an awful lot more expensive for these. The brush, like I say, it's a small knot, so it's never going to hold mountains of lather. It's not a particularly high loft, but it does a nice job. It gets the job done, I think is the phrase that pays here. It's never going to win any awards, but it's functional. And that's what my old man was about. He was function. He never took style over substance. So that's that. I actually went and bought my own one, which is this one, as a backup forever, or in case that one ever decides it wants to depart from this world and start shedding too much. And the soap, the L'Occitane, it's smooth, it smells nice, plenty of glide and cushion for cartridge razors, for single edge razors, for double edge and even straights. It works fine, absolutely fine. There's a reason why it was so popular, and I can't for the life of me begin to understand why L'Occitane France decided to get rid of it. Rumour is there may be a new formula coming out. If so, why? Because this one works. If they're getting rid of it completely, why? Because it's a great soap and it works. L'Occitane France, if you ever watch this video, I'd like to understand your reasoning. Get in touch via my channel, comment, whatever. Links to my bits and pieces there somewhere. But yeah, it performs well, very well. I cannot knock it. Lovely scent, lovely performance, lovely shave. So chaps, thank you for watching. Hopefully I haven't waffled too much about things that aren't exactly relevant to shaving and bored you to tears. But yeah, that was my dad's shave. I've been me. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video for whatever reason, I'd appreciate your likes. And if you really enjoyed it and want to see more, I'd very much appreciate your subscriptions as well. Let me know that you have, and if you've got a channel, I'll subscribe you back. So chaps, thank you again, and I'll see you soon. Bye.